What is up, guys? Welcome to this new video. In this video today we're going to be doing a throwing workout since y'all liked the last one, and the throws we're going to be working on today are purely based on like bailout options, or these throws have helped me bail out a lot of times. I said that like I have to bail out the whole time, but you know what I mean. If I'm in a bailout situation, I've used some of these throws. If you just have more options to do in a bailout situation, it will be easier to not have like a stall out or a drop or a miscommunication or things like that. If you want to develop your game, I would suggest that you learn these throws and really own them, and then you'll have a lot of options to do when you're in a bailout situation. Yeah, without further ado, let's start with the first one. So first one, imagine you have a mark right here, so it's a flick mark, you can only throw this. You're at a high stall and the only option you have is on the break side, either an inside flick or an around backhand. If these are difficult options to throw in like a fast split second, then there's another option you have, which is you do a flick fake and then you take it with your left hand and you do like a high release backhand. In my opinion, this only works for like pretty short throws, so like 5 to 10 meters maximum, I would say. But it's a really nice one if you're at a high stall and you want to reset to another person in the break side. I'm gonna do some throws. Let's see how it goes. So like this, fake. The key is to put a lot of spin in it, or as much as possible, because offhand and high release it's hard to put a lot of spin, but that it just floats and that the person who has to catch the disc can like choose whenever they want to catch the disc, so they have a lot of time. Of course, a small variation to this can be, instead of doing a full fake, you can do like a small shimmy and then put it over the top. There's like a lot of different options you have, but these are the ones I prefer. So like this. These are really nice throws, in my opinion. And if you own them, they're not too difficult to do. Then another option you have, which is pretty similar to the last one, is instead of throwing an offhand high release backhand, you can throw in like your throwing hand high release flick. In my opinion, this is a bit harder than the offhand backhand because it's pretty hard to throw in high release flick, and it takes a lot longer to like put it in position and like put it over. With the offhand you can just do like this, but with the flick you have to, you know, it takes a little extra time. But in my opinion, you can also use it in the same situation. So force flick, stall is high, and you want to get rid of the disc, you can just like put it like this as well in the same space, which is the break side. But I've also used it if, for example, the pressure is high, then markers tend to go lower and come closer. So if you imagine you have a mark that's really close and really low, if you do like this and like this, your mark is sometimes just going to stay low, and then you can just put something over the top, which is pretty easy because then it's like as if you don't have a mark. Let's do a couple. Let's start with the ones that are the same situation as the last one, so like the break side, high release. Then you have to go a bit more to the break side, of course. Okay, and then of course you also have the other situation, which is if your mark is low and close, you can just throw it in the open side. In my opinion, you have a bit more range with this than you have with the offhand backhand, because you can put a lot more spin. So I would say like maybe 15 to 20 meters is really possible with this throw. Okay, next bailout option. This is somewhat of a different one because it's not a bailout option in the view of like you have a high stall and you want to get rid of the disc. But let's say for example you get trapped on the sideline and you've been stuck on that sideline the whole time because their zone or whatever they're doing is working really good. Then you want to get out of that sideline. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to do it if you're really stuck is give and go. So the throw and go motion is a really important one that has helped me bail out a lot of times, but more in situations like when you're trapped on the sideline. So the important thing for me in this situation is if you didn't have a disc and you were to start running, you would do like this and then start running. With your throw and go motion, you want to do actually the same, but just throw after you put your first leg. So you plant, you push off, and then you throw before your pivot foot leaves the ground. So if you would do it without a disc, you would do like this. If you do it with a disc, you do the same, but you just throw, of course, before your foot leaves the ground, so you don't make it travel. Okay, so then we have the flicks. This is a lot less used than the backhand give and goes, but imagine you only have one shot, one opportunity, you know, then you have to be able to take it. So you want to be able to do this as well. What I have noticed, there are two ways to perform this flick give and go. What I have noticed from coaching juniors is that if you use one technique, which is just the same as the backhand, you start running and while you start, you just throw. But I've noticed from coaching juniors that this is a pretty hard thing to do because with a backhand, it's just like this. But with a flick, you have to go back with your body while you want to go to the front to run. So that's a bit of a difficult one because your upper body does something else than your lower body. But that is one option. If you are able to do this, then I would say use it. I personally do that because it's just a little more easy for me. But the different option is you can also plant your foot back and then push off. So this one is still your pivot. So you don't make it travel because you just plant it back. You push off and then you throw before you go. Let's do the two, and I would say try the two and see what's best for you. So that was the first one. Let's try method number 2 now. So that's with the step back and then you go. I guess this one's a little easier, but you also let your defender know what you're gonna do by stepping back like this, because I don't know a lot of throws where you would step back before you throw. But I guess you can do it somewhat a bit like subtle, like this maybe, and then like, oh, just looking around for options, maybe there. What am I gonna throw? Psych! Then next one is a pretty simple one, but it pisses me off so much that people don't train this throw because it's the easiest one, it's the most basic one, but a lot of people don't own this throw and get fucked by that in certain situations during games. It's the really simple, basic, around, low backhand. If you perform this and you don't hesitate and you just do it 100%, 99.9% of the time you'll be able to throw a good around, if you train for it, of course. So you can do it like this. We're playing in that direction. The first of the stack is coming to help and comes to the handler position. So I want to throw an around backhand there, which he can attack whenever he wants. So you want to make it a little floaty, a bit outside. Just like this. Let's do a couple. Okay, next one is a lot of fun, but it's a bonus throw. It's not one you have to know or you have to be able to throw at all times, because I think if you throw this in game, your coach will put you on the bench for the next 15 games. But it's just honestly a lot of fun to throw, and it's a scuba. Normally you would throw a scuba like this, so it comes flat, but if you throw it like this, it comes back a little inside, and it's just so much fun to throw. But I think if you throw it in game, as I've said, your coach will put you on the bench for the next 15 games, so don't take my advice for it. That was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try these throws, and see you all in the next one.